Hey guys, LunarFox Games here with my first devlog in quite a while. Right now, this devlog is not going to be like a traditional one, rather just a showing off the progress made to this point. This is going to be for my new project that I'm working on. Right now it has no name, but I'm just calling it Project Rise. There's actually no reason that I named it Project Rise, it's just that I just wanted a name for it for the videos. And it contrasts with Project Depths, which was my previous project. So without further ado, let me just show off what I got done so far. So this is a 2D platformer, Metroidvania game. As you can see, we can move, we can jump, and we can even whip because I like Castlevania. And we can whip in the air, and it keeps our momentum. Normally we can move back and forth in the air freely with no problem. But if we whip, like I'm holding right here, we just keep heading in the same direction, and that combines both like classic NES games like especially like Mario 1, Castlevania 1, where you're committed to your jump. But I didn't want the game feeling stiff, so I did that only when you're attacking, and then you keep all your momentum anyways. So here, don't know why, but this started acting a little weird lately, but we have a platform, you can jump through it, you can fall through it, perfectly fine. And guess let's just show off one more thing with the whip. You keep your momentum in the air, but on the ground, you lose most of it. As you can see, you keep a little slide. That's because before I was having it where you didn't, where you just went down to zero instantly. And that just felt really garbage. Like, you just do this and lose all your momentum like that. And it was a complete pace breaker. So now I did it so you do this like little slide after you attack. And then I also got this dash that I made. Just a quick, simple dash. You can do it on the ground. You can do it in the air. In the air, you can only do it once before you land again. And there's a cooldown on the dash. The cooldown is 1 second, but if you're in the air, it recharges at 1/3 of the speed. That way, if you're across like a big straightaway in the game, like right here, which I just added for this purpose, then you can keep doing it. But in like a traditional sense, where you're like doing all this platforming and stuff, you actually have to think about your movement instead of just rushing through it. The entire game is going to be based around this dash for progression, or that's going to be like your main, I guess, gimmick. I don't think that's the right word, but that describes it best. It's going to be your main modes of movement. And you'll be able to get more than one dash. And I have water physics. You kind of go down super slow in water. And you can't dash. Like, I'm pressing the dash button and it won't let me. Yeah. Really what made me inspired to not be able to initially dash in the water, like there'll be a power-up to do so, is games like, especially the Metroid series does as well, like Super Metroid, where when you're progressing, and then you get to the water area, it drops you directly into the water. And then Samus feels garbage to control. And I kind of wanted to have that in this game, without it feeling so garbage, so instead of like screwing over your physics like it does so, but it's still certainly playable. Instead of just destroying the character of all their movement, I just got rid of your main movement component, which is the dash. So once you finally get that underwater dash upgrade, that really opens up the game. So the graphics for the game, the tile set, here it's on itch.io, made by someone named Adam Saltzman. Thank you very much. I appreciate the tile set. Just found this free to use whatever you want. I'll have the link to this in the description if you want to check it out. And then the player, I made the player sprite on my own, and then I have a couple animations for it. Well, we have the jump sprite, the idle, which you see right now, whipping, and then jumping and whipping. Those are just single frame. I might change those later, but I like having low amount of frames in animations because it makes it very easy to tell what you're doing. And then the walk is just a simple 4-frame animation. It looks kind of weird super close, but from afar it looks just fine. And I made them bob up and down just to make it a little bit clearer that you're walking. And then what else should I talk about? I guess I'll delve into the code of things a little bit. As you can see, we always have the whip hitbox active. We just have this, and then we disable it and enable it in the code. I'll show off the attack because I made the attack code on my own because I kind of didn't like all the tutorials that were out there. So what we do is we do this with an IE enumerator that allows us to wait for an amount of time. So what this means is the whip will be active for 0.4 seconds, and there's a total cooldown of 0.6 seconds when using it. So if you're just spamming the whip, then you'll actually have the uptime of 2/3 of the time, because this counts down while you're whipping. Wanting to keep that nice and short while not being able to super spam it. So we just basically check if we're whipping. We have a boolean here, but we also just check if the hitbox is enabled. And yeah. So player movement, this is quite a big script. I might break this up into multiple parts. But what I really like about this is it's super easy to get the direction that you're facing, because I just check for a horizontal input. This is just your input. This will be left and right on a controller. We just check when that's not 0 and we're not whipping, then we can change the direction we face. And that makes it a lot easier to code some things. That also influences our dash direction. And what this does is it mirrors our sprite. So we have this whole thing about water. All this is for water, we just check if we're colliding with our collider, and that's just a boolean. And then what we do with that boolean is we do that for other stuff. So instead of hard coding our underwater movement, what we do is I just scale our movement. I don't know why there's all this white space here. I just scale the movement. So if we check the editor, we can see this. And then we have the normal movement and the liquid movement right here. And all that does is I can easily change these two parameters, and that changes how we interact with things. We also changed the gravity a bit. I'm planning on changing the code for this a little bit to be a bit better, because there's definitely a couple quirks to it. Like, it'll be kind of hard to just code this in right away, but if we are like right here in the water and we try jumping out, we'll only go up a couple tiles. Even though our jump height underwater is pretty high, and out of water it's even higher. So it's definitely not intended to only jump half the height, and that's because we double gravity. And yeah, this is, I guess, the end of the first devlog. I'll definitely be having more traditional devlogs as what you see on YouTube later on. But just a quick run-up on what I have done with the project so far. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe in order to see more videos like this, and comments what you think about it. Thank you.